England, 1934. Behind the high walls of St. Matilda's school, an entire world exists within its own confines. The air is thick with the scent of waxed parquet, strict rules, and suppressed passions. At the heart of this secluded microcosm is Miss G, the swimming instructor, a true high priestess in her own small kingdom. To her students, she is more than just a teacher. She is the very embodiment of romance, freedom, and everything so achingly absent within the school's sterile walls. Her most devoted admirer is Dee Redfield, a girl with a strong will and a smoldering gaze, a mix of adoration and a passion beyond her years. They steal secret moments to smoke, discussing books, and for Dee, Miss G personifies an unattainable ideal. But this idyll is fragile. A rigid hierarchy reigns among the students. Dee, as the unofficial leader, demonstrates her power by humiliating a girl for improperly toasted bread. Into this well-oiled system, a foreign and exquisite element is introduced. News arrives of a new student, an aristocrat from Spain. The headmistress asks them to welcome her kindly, but a palpable tension already hangs in the air, foretelling a storm. The new girl is named Fiamma. She arrives not timidly or with embarrassment as others do, but with a cold, almost detached dignity that immediately sets her apart. Her presence is like a crack in the lacquered surface of their world. In the dormitory, governed by its own rigid code, Dee immediately lays down the law. The newcomer is nobody here, and even her nightstand is under strict surveillance. Meanwhile, Miss G is conducting diving training. This is her sacred right. The girls, one after another, strive to earn her approval. Dee dives flawlessly, eliciting her mentor's delight. But when it is Fiamma's turn, something unexpected happens. She refuses to wear a swim cap, complains about the cold, yet her dive proves not merely good, it is perfect, surpassing even Dee's. "The bar has been raised," Miss G states, and in her voice one hears for the first time not just surprise, but the faint notes of a burgeoning interest that borders on a challenge. However, Fiamma has a weakness: asthma. The silver inhaler in her hand becomes a target for the other girl's mockery, a symbol of her vulnerability. But for Miss G, that vulnerability only makes the Spanish girl more mysterious and alluring. Miss G's obsession with the new student begins to take a darker turn. To win Fiamma's favor, she organizes a moonlit swim for the girls, a forbidden and therefore deeply desired ritual. In the mysterious moonlight, Fiamma inadvertently shares memories of the distant country she has visited. Trying to keep up, Miss G interjects with her own fabricated memories of travels, but her stories sound stilted and bookish. The truth surfaces with cruel inevitability. During a lesson, attempting to impress Fiamma, Miss G recounts a dramatic story about her lover being dragged away by a crocodile in Africa. With a light, merciless smile, Fiamma finishes the story for her, pointing out that it is stolen word for word from a famous novelist. In the girl's eyes, confusion. In Miss G's eyes, panic and humiliation. Her romantic facade has suffered its first deep crack, and Fiamma is the one relentlessly pressing on it. The fiasco of the crocodile story becomes a point of no return for Miss G. The humiliation is forged into a suffocating, painful passion. During a training session, with manic obsession, she forces Fiamma, who is on the verge of an asthma attack, to jump into the water again and again, hiding behind slogans about strength of spirit. When the exhausted girl is at her limit, Miss G pulls her from the water, not to help her, but to pour out her own tangled feelings of adoration, hatred, and desire in the solitude of the locker room. She begs Fiamma to be her friend, her accomplice, her reflection, saying they are alike. This is not a request, but the demand of a tormented soul desperate to claim another's vitality for itself. Fiamma responds with icy contempt. Her father will soon take her from this stinking hole, and all these pathetic games will be left behind. Fiamma's words, that the girls will one day leave Miss G, wound the teacher deeper than any knife. In desperation, she escapes to the town, and her behavior outside the school walls reveals a profound sociopathy. She twitches, mutters, utterly incapable of existing in the real world. She returns with a royal gift, a bun with tea, but for Fiamma alone. This gesture is the final line, which, once crossed, shatters the team completely and ignites in Dee a thirst for revenge. Miss G's obsession reaches a critical point. Seizing the opportunity while the girls are busy with their festivities, she leads the sleeping Fiamma to her room. The door to her room slams shut. What begins under the thin guise of a heart-to-heart quickly sheds its pretense. The space fills with an unbearable intimacy as Miss G's words twist into possessive fantasies of journeys they would take together, of a connection that would eclipse all others. Her gestures, meant to be comforting, transform into unsettling claims on the girl's very being, violating both her physical and emotional boundaries. This unsettling scene is interrupted by Dee, who becomes an unwilling witness through the keyhole. For her, what she sees is not an act of violence, but proof that Fiamma has seduced her idol. The next morning, consumed by jealousy, Dee pours out her distorted version of events to Miss G. Instead of stopping her, Miss G sobs and rests her head on the student's shoulder, ultimately transforming Dee into her instrument. Revenge erupts instantly. Dee and her accomplices find Fiamma by the stream. The bullying begins, swiftly escalating into physical aggression. During the struggle, Fiamma's inhaler is torn away, her only lifeline. Gasping for air, chest wheezing and whistling, she tries to flee, but the frenzied mob chases her into the woods. Driven by blind fury, the girls surround her, force her to the ground, their fists raining down on her fragile frame. Only one of them tries to stop the assault, but her voice drowns in the chorus of animal-like hatred. At the most terrible moment, when Fiamma lies on the ground, no longer able to breathe, Miss G appears. Her face shows not horror, but a strange, almost blissful calm. She kneels beside the dying girl. But Miss G has no intention of saving her. She takes the inhaler but does not give it to Fiamma. Instead, she gently strokes her hair, presses her lips to the girl's ear, and whispers her final poisonous words. "You're not ready for this world. Just go to sleep." She watches as Fiamma's breathing grows fainter until it stops completely. And in that silence lies a silent judgment upon herself. The death of Fiamma hangs in the school's halls like a heavy, unspoken condemnation. The idyllic little world so carefully constructed by Miss G has collapsed, exposing its rotten core. The girls, gripped by horror and remorse, no longer believe in their mentor. Miss G's attempt to convince them that they're better off without her meets a wall of silent alienation. Dee, her eyes finally opened, goes to the headmistress, only to be met with cynical indifference. The school's reputation matters more than the death of a student. Miss G is dismissed and vanishes into provincial obscurity. The girls receive a letter from Dee asking forgiveness for her departure and promising to write about her life. This isn't deception like Miss G's, but a sincere attempt to heal wounds. Yet the scars in their hearts will remain forever, a reminder of ideals' fragility and the poison of blind devotion.